You know what I'm reading? As we were in the break, I'm reading Robespiere's Plan of Depopulation. Introduction. George Brenard Shaw, playwright, a leading member of the Fabian Socialists. Now remember, George Brenard Shaw, everybody will tell you if you've gone to school, George Brenard Shaw, he was a great man. He's one of the greatest playwrights ever. The man was a monster. Leading member of the Fabian Socialists and a member of the the Society, wrote in 1928 how important depopulation of nations are to the ultimate success of socialism. Quote, when socialism does away with the artificial overpopulation, the state will be face to face at last with the genuine population question, the question of how many people is desirable to have in your country. To get rid of the million or so for whom our capitalists fail to find employment, the state now depends on a high death rate. If, after socialism is instituted, we find our population still increasing, we may have to discuss whether or not we should keep it down as we keep down the cat population by putting down the babies into a bucket. George Brenard Shaw, which would be no more wicked than the affordable infant mortality and low surgical abortion resorted to at present. Then it goes into Robespierre. Robespierre is the great freedom fighter of France, but they didn't know the difference between individual rights and collective rights. Collective rights, human rights, which is what everybody is clamoring for now. Human rights lead you to a place to where the collective is more important than the individual, and you can be drowned like a cat because it hurts the collective to have you alive. You're a drain on the system. It is a huge difference. It is the difference that, thank God, George Whitefield started to spark in America in the early 1700s. It is a huge difference. It is such a small, almost seemingly inconsequential difference that our founders were even duped by Robespierre. Jefferson, one of the most brilliant minds ever to live in America, duped. He didn't see it. He didn't see it. Thomas Paine went over. He was actually thrown in jail by Robespierre because he went over. He was going to help them. He was going to help them. And then he got over there and he was like, wait. You're getting rid of people like the cat population? What? Robespierre. And let me ask you, have you ever heard of this? Tried reducing the population by killing people en masse. Initially, they had justified this as a means of averting the problems of starvation and unemployment. The logic, less mouths to feed or people to work, means more happy working people with food on their table. Look, it never changes. It never changes. What are they saying about world population now? They're saying it again. Unsustainable. Free men say, unsustainable, we can make it work. We can think our way out of this. We can create our way out of this. We'll imagine our way out of this. We'll dream our way out of this. We'll work our way out of this. But a socialist government, one that goes off, and I'm telling you, America, with hunger and fear, every government on this planet will go off the rails so fast, and you will have global government so fast, as Barack Obama said over the weekend, change is coming to this planet at a breathtaking pace. And it is. Before you know it, in the blink of an eye, with hunger and fear and socialists at the top, you've got a nightmare unlike this world has ever seen. And let me give you another promise. If you are a believer, if you are somebody who believes in God, how does Satan really work? He always takes something great and perverts it and uses it for great and powerful evil. The better it is, the more damage it can do. Look at the internet. The internet is the greatest thing ever. You can read any book at any time, anywhere in the world. It is fantastic. Look at the destruction that the internet can do through child pornography and everything else. It's always a double-edged sword. And the greater the good, the greater the evil. Ask yourself this question. Has there ever been a country greater than this one? Has there ever been a country that has done more good than this one? Has there ever been a country that strived to... Has there ever been a country that was more obvious that it was divinely inspired? You let the powers of darkness get their hands on this country, and I promise you it will be the greatest destructive force the world has ever seen. Stand vigilant. Look to God and live.
Information is power.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.